I'm Derek Lawrence, and we're live at 2019 EW Comic-Con Video Studio presented by Toyota Corolla, and I'm here with the cast of Terminator Dark Fate. Thanks so much, guys, for being here. Really excited to talk to you guys, especially after seeing some more footage this morning. I know the audience, Tim had everyone calling for it to be showed a second time, and they loved it just as much the second time as they did the first time, so thanks so much. Tim, for you, I know Terminator franchise, especially those first two films, were a big influence on you. So was it kind of surreal to be doing a Terminator movie with Linda Hamilton, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and James Cameron involved?
I don't think it could be more surreal because this is my 25th Comic-Con, so most of my time at this event is as a fan of this material. So to be doing something that's worthy of the other fans here getting excited about it. Much less working with Linda, Arnold, and Jim it's like a nerd wet dream. I can say wet dream, right?
Not really.
I can say, yeah.
Probably not.
Well, what if I just sweated a lot while I dreamed? Then it would be valid.
Exactly.
Yeah, Linda.
That's what's a lot.
Yes.
Linda, for you, it's been 28 years since we last saw you as Sarah, and obviously there was, opportunities where, hypothetically you could have come back in the past, but you didn't. So kind of why was this kind of the right time and the right opportunity to be back?
Yeah, I didn't want to treat it like a cash cow, repeating, endless, looping a character who felt very complete to me in the first two films. I just thought, okay, I'm done with that. I'm going to retire a champ. I just had no interest in carrying on. But 27 years later, there's 27 years to account for. And that intrigued me. Just like, what has happened? Who is she? As opposed to who she was. And there were many stories to tell since the passage of time.
Yeah.
So, I thought it had value. The idea had value, and I wanted to explore it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Natalia, you play, Dani, who's almost this film's Sarah Connor from the first one. She's in, pretty similar situation, and it's even alluded to in the trailer. So kind of what can you tell us about, Dani, and what was it like, working so closely with Linda?
Well, I'm Dani Ramos. I'm a girl from Mexico City. I'm a little bit like myself, just small but really brave and badass. And sometimes I just say what I think.
And modest.
And honest. And modest. And and I have a little simple life. I have my brother, Diego, and I'm a hard worker. I go to work, and suddenly I have that guy, the new Terminator, after me, and he wants to kill me. And I don't really understand why. So there is Grace and Linda, Sarah Connor, and they come to help. And I don't really know who to trust, and I don't understand. So it's like this journey between the three of us. It's like a road trip of the three females, just like trying to understand and kicking asses.
Yep.
That's it.
Kicking asses.
Kicking asses.
And we have...
Stop! Tim always makes fun of me. Stop it.
Never.
Never.
Look at, I would.
You would never, no.
I would never do that.
And
Professional. And, yeah.
That was on full display in the panel, absolutely. Yeah.
people say that. Professional.
Gabriel, she mentioned that you play, kind of this new Terminator, and you're kind of following, especially this is, a direct sequel, to those first two films. So you're kind of following the footsteps of, Arnold and Robert Patrick, and kind of two iconic, characters. So what can you say about, your version of this Terminator, and kind of what did you study a bit, kind of those first two versions? Or?
Yes, no, absolutely. I've probably seen both of those films just dozens of times since my first read with him, and it would be a horrendous mistake not to do the things that Arnold did so successfully and what Robert did so successfully. I wanted to make sure that their characters lived through me in this one, because it wouldn't, as we now know, this is the third film in the trilogy, and we're all in the same story. And I think that to play this hybrid of those two characters, those two iconic villains, just historic, legendary villains, and to have the strengths of both of them and almost none of their weaknesses, and then just yeah, and then to play. When she says she's kicking asses, she is, because I can turn it to two asses that she can kick. But yeah, no, it's really, really fantastic. Yeah.
Well, so you watched the first two films and picked some stuff up from Arnold, but in the panel earlier you were talking about working out with Arnold. So as like for us non-Terminators, what's that, kind of set the scene for us? What's that like, working out with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
One of my homies back in Austin put it really eloquently. He was like, dude, you're experiencing the Super Bowl of training sessions, and that's exactly what it was. It's just you have the pinnacle of bodybuilding, the known to be probably the most proportional, perfect physique that's we've ever seen, and he, so I just absorbed whatever information he was mostly in observation, just watching him, and seeing that do things slowly. Anything worth doing is worth doing slowly, and just squeeze the pump at the top, hit the negative really slow, just you don't have to go heavy, just everything has to be done with purpose and with energy and focus, and that's what he shared with me.
Interesting.
That sounds right.
Like life.
I already knew that.
You had those sessions, probably those workout sessions. Mackenzie, on the other side of things, we have your character Grace. So kind of tell me about, I would say this is a character that we haven't seen before in this franchise. She's a bit of a human, kind of robot hybrid. So what can you tell me about her and kind of your process of, transforming into her? Kind of brings back memories of, kind of what Linda did, for Terminator 2. So kind of what was that process like for you?
Yeah, I definitely was trying to follow in the footsteps of an icon and not disappoint Linda or any of the people who hired me or would see the movie. So it was a long road. Not just there's like an aesthetic change, but I feel like that happens just by working out every day and following a diet. But the hardest part was learning the stunts and like retraining your body to move efficiently and to operate as a fighter, which if you don't grow up doing martial arts or gymnastics, like your body doesn't move in the way it's supposed to move. And there were really simple stances and gestures they had to teach me that it was like learning to play guitar and looking down at your fingers and being like, my brain is telling my fingers to do a thing, but they're not doing it. And there's you just have to completely retrain your nervous system. So that was, it was intense. It was really, really hard and gratifying and cool.
Linda, what was the process like for you, getting back into it too? Obviously, 20 years later, you look really badass in the trailer, so I'm sure that wasn't an easy process. What was that like?
Do I need this to speak?
It would help, probably.
Does
It doesn't hurt.
So actually nobody here has been heard. You can put whatever words you want in their mouths, which is probably a better idea. I had to stand in the desert next to Mackenzie, and I was so fucking jealous and freaked out that I said the F word. So sorry.
Who gets $20
I was
this
so
time? Is that,
frigging.
Linda's paid for half of my
I could not exhibit any of that, but I was just like, oh my God. Not that I was competitive, but I watched her work and I was like, my brain doesn't work like that anymore. I'm not learning. I'm not capable of learning. My body is not listening to my brain. I had to really work to bring my brain and body back together, just simply because years go by and you're not doing that. When I became comfortable with the weapons, I reverted to 1991. That is not good, because 91, everything has changed just so much in 27 years. So the more sort of relaxed and comfortable and confident I got, the worse I got, because they had to teach me it's not the teacup and saucer stance anymore and holding a weapon, it's this. And so you're fighting muscle memory and your own brain, and then you're standing next to her who could, just by sheer, grace and youth and size, do a mag change like that. And I'd be like, I can't even do a mag change with two hands anymore. I really had to struggle with my limitations and push through them and, return myself into some badass form.
But you give her a rocket launcher.
Yeah, that does a
Good
lot
with
of
a
the work.
bazooka.
Yeah.
And we went and trained in Texas together, and it turns out I'm a sniper. Stone cold sniper.
We went to the
they
top
said.
of a mountain that we had to get helicopters
Yeah.
to do like sniper shooting.
Jack
of
Neville's
targets.
ex-special forces, our
This
Our-
Green
That's our
Beret,
consultant.
Our mentor.
hard,
Yeah.
amazing man, took us to this place to shoot guns, and yeah, we did this sniper lesson, and we'd been there for 3 days, and I know Linda was frustrated. I mean, but then we got to the top of this mountain, and it was just like hit after hit after hit after hit. It was very chilling.
Headshot, 300 meters. I mean, just like. I actually suggested that they rework the film where I'm just like shooting people from a distance. It's like I could do my part in like 5 days. You just put me on some rooftop, far, far away from the real action. I'm like, bow, bow, bow.
Maybe this
But-
is a stupid question, but who were you shooting at when you were taking these headshots up on a mountain in Texas?
I cannot say, Tim.
Jack has
cannot
like almost like a golf course, like a shooting golf course. He told me about.
And you shoot the golfers?
No.
Yeah, I hate
it's like metal.
golfers.
I think they're like metal forms.
I hate golfers. Yeah. Shoot them.
Well,
Free golf, the sign says. And yet they never come back.
I think we got to the bottom of that. Unfortunately, we're out of time. But again, yeah, unfortunately. So I appreciate you guys again taking the time. Like I said, I'm really excited for the movie.
I feel like I'm in Mr. Rogers and a Bob Ross at the same time. It's great.
So thanks a lot. And Terminator Dark Fate, November 1st. Stay tuned to DW.com for more coverage.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Especially you.
Thank you.